When will the world hold Israel accountable? A call for justice amid reports of oxycodone smuggling and war crimes in Gaza. The silence is deafening. While international media selectively filters atrocities, and Western governments repeat the same hollow phrases about Israel's right to defend itself, Gaza bleeds. Children are buried beneath the rubble, hospitals are turned into graveyards, and reports surface of Israel allegedly smuggling addictive opioids like oxycodone into Gaza hidden in flour bags, raising urgent questions not only about humanitarian deception but about the complete moral collapse of global accountability. Yes, you read that right. According to emerging reports from Palestinian aid workers and local sources, Israeli forces have been accused of contaminating humanitarian aid, specifically flour bags, with oxycodone, a highly addictive prescription opioid. If these claims are substantiated, this would not only constitute a grotesque form of psychological and social warfare but a direct violation of international humanitarian law. And yet, silence. No investigation from the United Nations. No emergency resolution from the European Union. No condemnation from the United States, whose billions of dollars in annual military aid keep Israel's war machine greased and running. The same USA that wages a so-called war on drugs, on its own citizens sees no problem if a proxy is allegedly weaponizing narcotics in occupied territory. Let us be crystal clear, this is terrorism. Not the resistance of a people fighting to survive ethnic cleansing. Not the defiance of mothers who protect their children with their bare hands. But the systematic, state-sponsored terror of an occupying force that destroys infrastructure, bombs schools, executes journalists, and now, possibly, poisons food. Why is the world afraid to speak? The answer lies in complicity. The European Union, born from the ruins of World War II, preaches democracy while closing its eyes to apartheid. The United States, once a symbol of liberty, uses its veto power in the UN Security Council not to defend justice but to shield its closest ally from consequences. The United Nations, supposed guardian of human rights, has become toothless, a parade of resolutions never enforced. And the victims? The children of Gaza. The doctors amputating limbs without anesthesia. The families scraping through the rubble for body parts of their loved ones. All while the West sips coffee in air-conditioned conference rooms, discussing proportionality. If this were any other country, ask yourself, if Russia, Iran, or North Korea were caught allegedly smuggling opioids into occupied territory under the guise of humanitarian aid, what would the global response be? Sanctions? Condemnation? Bombs even? But for Israel? Excuses. Because Israel is not held to international standards. It is gifted exceptionalism, a privilege granted by decades of colonial guilt, strategic alliances, and a global narrative hijacked by those who equate criticism of a government with hatred of a people. Let us be absolutely clear. Criticizing a state that commits war crimes is not anti-Semitism. It is a moral obligation. The need for a new global movement. This must end. The world must rise, not with hashtags and empty slogans but with action. Impose sanctions on Israeli officials responsible for the occupation and war crimes. Suspend arms sales to Israel immediately. Launch independent investigations into allegations of drug smuggling and humanitarian manipulation. Recognize the Palestinian right to resist as guaranteed under international law. It is not enough to call for peace. Peace without justice is nothing more than submission. And submission to tyranny is not peace, it is complicity. Final word. If the allegations of oxycodone smuggling are true, and every day in Gaza proves truth is stranger and darker than fiction, then Israel is not just an occupying force. It is a state perpetrating chemical warfare, psychological trauma, and collective punishment. How many more children must die? How many more lies must be exposed? How many more crimes must be committed before the so-called civilized world calls time on Israel's reign of terror? History is watching. And one day so will justice. Note, this article expresses strong condemnation based on allegations and humanitarian reports. Any factual claims, such as the oxycodone smuggling, require a formal independent investigation. The international community has a legal and moral duty to ensure such investigations take place.